In this video, we'll look at what we mean by the term indirect object. So, what is an indirect object? Well, the indirect object is the recipient of the direct object, and we'll talk about that as well in this video. Here's a simple example. Paula passed the parcel to her father. So you find the direct object by finding the verb and asking what. That gives you the parcel. And then you ask, who was it for? To whom or for whom? So we've got Paula passed the direct object to her father, the indirect object. Let's look at another example. Simon gave his uncle a dirty look. So you find the verb and you ask what. Gave what? A dirty look. To whom? His uncle. So his uncle is the indirect object. It's the recipient of the direct object. In this video, all the verbs are going to be in blue, all the direct objects are going to be in brown, and the indirect objects are going to be green. Let's look at some steps to find an indirect object. So start by finding the verb, and then ask what. That gives you the direct object. And then ask who received it, and that gives you the indirect object. Here's a simple example. Paula passed the butter to John. Paula is the subject, so we'll find the verb, and the verb is passed. Next, ask what. Remember, that gives us the direct object. Pass the butter. And then ask to whom, and that gives us to John. So John is the indirect object. Here's another example. I'm giving protection to someone I care about. I is the subject. Am giving is the verb. Am giving what? Protection. That's the direct object. To whom? Someone I care about. Someone I care about is the indirect object. Here's some more examples of indirect objects. Shall I tell the children our ghost story tonight? So find the verb, tell, ask what. The answer is our ghost story. And then who is it for? The children. To whom? So tell is the verb, our ghost story is the direct object, the children is the indirect object. Here's another example. Give a child love, laughter and peace, not AIDS. Famous quote by Nelson Mandela. So give is the verb. Give what? Love, laughter and peace, not AIDS. To whom? A child. So love, laughter, peace, not AIDS is the direct object, and a child is the indirect object. Here's another example. This one has two verbs, show and write. So show what? A hero, that's the direct object. Write what? A tragedy, that's the other direct object. Now let's look for the indirect objects. Show a hero to whom? To me, so that's the indirect object. Write a tragedy for whom? For you, so you is the other indirect object. Let's do a quick summary. The indirect object is the recipient of the direct object. So you find the verb, you ask what to get the direct object, and then you ask who received it, and that will give you the indirect object. Often the indirect object will be preceded by the word to or for, but not always, as we've seen in some of these examples. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out some of our other videos, tests and lessons on grammarmonster.com. You'll also find us on Twitter and Facebook.